10 U.S. cities going downhill in 2024. America's iconic cities. Are they fading? Some of America's most storied cities are facing new challenges, from mighty Rust Belt behemoths to coastal powerhouses. Tonight, we explore America's top 10 cities on the skids and find out what different factors led to their downfall. But what's behind these cities' woes? What can economic shifts, social ills, and political woes tell us about their problems? Are there any signs of hope? Join us in understanding these questions and more. Number 10. Cleveland, Ohio. Major problems affecting Cleveland, Ohio include economic, social structure, and infrastructure. Cleveland, Ohio was once an industrial town that had been experiencing lifeless times since it lost most of its manufacturing jobs that resulted in its sharp drop into a wasteland. This has resulted in such a huge loss in population, whereby the city lost nearly 10% of its population since the year 2000. However, the rate of poverty has soared by almost 30%, especially in low-income areas that have always been so. Many white residents have also left, more than 200,000 of them, which has led to more vacant homes and fewer funded public services. Not that the economic decline is unique to Cleveland. Its cousin and neighbor Akron suffers similarly, as massive parts of the area present high poverty and underinvestment. The eastern neighborhoods are the most hit, with many abandoned buildings and a general collapse of community services, gentrification, or real investment, thus making many neighborhoods have declined for long. Number 9. Seattle, Washington. Some of the major issues Seattle is facing are homelessness, crime, and politics. In 2023, it progressed by reducing tents roaming around the streets by 24% and the RV camps by 51%. This is because of the shelter referrals becoming better and newly established housing programs. However, the total homeless population in the U.S. increased by 12.1%, hence worsening the pressure on cities such as Seattle. Crime is still an issue since shootouts in camps have been reduced by 41%. Adding 1,400 affordable homes in 2023 did little to stop the city's housing crisis, which will continue to see 7,600 more homes added in 3 years. Political disagreement weighs them down and hampers the proper tackling of these issues while trying to make safety and economic changes. Seattle's road to recovery has hopeful signs but continues facing challenges. Number 8. St. Louis, Missouri. A combination of some financial, societal, and public work-related problems has gradually made St. Louis, Missouri decline. One big problem was the high crime rate in the city. St. Louis even had one of the highest crime rates in the U.S. There have been some silver linings recently, including a 21% drop in homicides and a 24% reduction in shooting incidents in 2023. Crime remains prevalent, a growth drag, and an inhibitor to new businesses looking to invest in the area. The population has decreased in recent decades, partly because of slow economic growth, which has forced the people of St. Louis to move away. Many people moved away for better jobs. For the economy of the city has not changed much to the previous situation, such as that of manufacturing. The new economy lacked new, high-growth sectors that would result in loss of jobs and fewer opportunities for local residents. Number 7. New Orleans, Louisiana. New Orleans, Louisiana still has many problems that trace their roots to past and present. Many parts of this city never recovered even after years have passed since Hurricane Katrina. This big problem about this city is the stagnation in terms of economics, few job opportunities, thus having a high rate of poverty. About 23.8% of the people live below the poverty line. Another problem the city suffers from is violent crime. New Orleans ranks third in terms of murder rate as of 2023 with 277 murders. The erosion into old systems, which are often wrecked many times over by storms, creates more problems in the city. Some of these storms include Ida in 2021, which gave people and businesses a tough time healing from the damage. The efforts to recover from disasters are slow, and the city's dependence on tourism weakens its economy against crime and natural disasters. Number 6. Portland, Oregon. Portland has faced some major issues recently. Among them are political protest, homelessness, and rising crime. The city was marred with many demonstrations which disrupt normal activities within its environs and discourage local businesses. Homelessness is an oddly obvious and therefore pressing issue. More than 6,000 bedded down on the streets of Portland in 2023. While crime declined overall during the period by 23% for shootings, for example, problems such as traffic fatalities and shoplifting remained unchecked. All those complaints and the political differences rendered Portland irrelevant. Number 5. Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles is popularly known as the City of Angels. There is a lively culture and popular landmarks. However, behind such a glittery look, it risks the city's image as a good place to live due to an array of problems behind it. Los Angeles faces some of its biggest issues in the form of a high cost of living. The prices of houses had risen quite steeply. At this moment in 2023, the average house value in the city is $850,000. The homelessness has witnessed their ascension. Homeless people living without homes in Los Angeles County went up by 14% between 2020 and 2022. Excluding homelessness, there is a bigger concern about crime as well. Although the crime rates have declined drastically today, different parts of the city are still struggling on issues concerning violence and property crime. For instance, last year, 2023, the city committed 352 homicides, which is 12% more than last year. Number 4. Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore was once a very lively port city, but has, for years, suffered from extreme problems within the city itself. Violent crime, even murders, deter the city. In 2023, Baltimore recorded a staggering number of 317 murders for that given year, which has classified Baltimore as one of the deadliest cities in America. Most live in poverty. More than 25% of residents in Baltimore survive on poverty levels. This economic turmoil has given less of an opportunity for many, leading to more crimes and other forms of social disturbances. Unemployment rate for 2023 posted in the city is 6.3%, which is more than its national level. Political corruption is a major issue in Baltimore since some public servants have been found committing wrongs. These scandals have also disassociated people's minds with the legitimate activities of local governments trying to solve problems in that city. Number 3. Chicago, Illinois. It has serious issues with the city in the past decades. Once a bustling industrial center, Chicago also suffered its fair share of crime-related issues. Violent crime will not relent, running off residents and businesses. Recorded murders in the city were at 259 in 2023. This number showed an increase of 15% over the previous year. Economic malaise also raised its ugly head in the city. Budget shortfalls required crippling cuts to vital public services. All these cuts, together with the tax incidence on properties, pushed the cost of staying in Chicago upwards. As a result, the majority of the people have been migrating to relatively safer and cheaper suburbs. The loss of people led to the aggravation of problems in Chicago. The population fell by 1.8% between 2020 and 2022. Diminution in residents has made it unbearably difficult for the city in tax collections and also drained its budgets for important services. Number 2. San Francisco, California. San Francisco has long been identified by new ideas and growth. However, it currently faces many problems that threaten its very good image as a nice place to live. Sharp price hikes that characterized the housing boom in the first 2 decades of the 21st century also led to a sharp decline in population. The median of a home had skyrocketed to $1.5 million in 2023. This made most of the residents flee the city, hence quite unfavorably lowering the population in the city. Homelessness is one of the big challenges in San Francisco City, with about 17,000 homeless persons in the city for the year 2023. Increment in homelessness has worsened because of an absence of appropriate and affordable housing and more drug users. Higher rates of crime, especially property crimes and drug crimes, have also been part of San Francisco's difficulties. The once popular Tenderloin area of the city is now more associated with a drug problem and crime, frightening visitors and businesses. In 2023, San Francisco counted 55 murders. That's a 10% increase on the previous year. Number 1. Detroit, Michigan. Once the bustling center of automobiles, Detroit has met with decades of economic decline, population loss, and high poverty rates. The fall of the auto industry in the late 20th century brought unemployed rates in the many hundreds of thousands and urban blight. Vacant factories and houses marred the cities, and the crime rates were on the rise. As of 2023, the unemployment rate in Detroit was at 7.2%, a substantially higher rate than the national rate. Though the population has declined by almost 25% since it peaked in 1950, today it still sums to about 637,000. Nevertheless, despite these hardships, most residents of Detroit face several challenges as nearly 34% of them live under poverty. Detroit, though, can once again bounce back with its problems. In recent years, some areas of the city have already begun to flourish once again as businesses sprout and money is pumped into the city's public services. Large portions of Detroit still, however, suffer with issues resulting from blight and poverty. And that's a glimpse of the 10 U.S. cities that trouble us today. We grilled the tough problems marking their decay, bringing them into the gloom. Economic troubles, social unrest, and political chaos. What do you say about these cities and their challenges?